Robinson Crusoe by Daniel Defoe. Part 4. Shipwreck. One day, 3 of my friends came to our house. They told me they wanted to go to Africa. They asked me if I wanted to go with them. I said, "Yes, I want to go with you." We started to prepare all the necessary things for the journey. Soon we were ready to go. I said goodbye to my wife and we started our journey. Our plan was to be back in 2 months. We left Brazil on the 1st of September, 1655. Our ship was very big, but we were only 17 men. The ship was full of things for business. We had cups, glass, mirrors, knives, and other products. At the beginning of our journey, the weather was very good, but very hot. In 1 week, a hurricane came, and it was threatening our ship for the next 12 days. After the hurricane passed, we saw we went quite far from our original journey, and were instead close to the northern part of Brazil near the Orinoco River. The ship was so badly damaged, we could no longer go to Africa. The captain wanted us to go back and repair the ship, but I strongly disagreed with him. We went over the maps and decided the best thing to do was to go to Barbados and repair the ship there. When we started this short trip, a second hurricane came. The next morning, one of the sailors cried out, "Land!" And at that moment, the ship stopped in shallow water. We expected the ship to break apart at any moment because of the strong wind. So we all got into the small boat the ship carried. This was very dangerous because the 17 of us were crowded in the boat, and it had no sail. The waves were very big. The wind was extremely strong. The wind pushed us to big rocks. We knew the crash was close. Another wave carried me to the beach. I was half dead with all the water that came into my body. I was still in water, but I felt a land under my feet. I could hardly move, but I knew I had to go further onto the land. I didn't want another wave to carry me back into the sea. Before I could get to my feet, another wave came, and I was washed into the water. I couldn't breathe for a while, but then another wave threw me back on the beach. I tried to get up. I tried to go further from the sea. I was able to move 10 feet up. I was safe, but my arms and legs were very weak. I collapsed, and I was lying on the beach. After some time, I got up. I looked for the others. I couldn't find the other men. I was probably the only person alive. All my friends were dead. I only found 3 hats and 2 shoes on the beach. It was horrible for me. The weather was still very bad, but the waves weren't as big anymore. And I could see the ship. It was far from the land. I looked around and noticed I had almost nothing. I was wet and had no other clothes. I had nothing to eat or drink and nothing with which to defend myself if an animal attacked me. All I found in my pockets was a knife and a little box with tobacco. The situation was really bad. How could I possibly survive with only these things? Before sunset, I explored the place and I was looking for some fresh water. I found it in a small river. Then I made myself a weapon from a short stick to protect myself against dangerous animals. I decided to spend the night up in a tree. When I woke up the next morning, the sea was calm. I was surprised to discover that the waves moved the ship. The ship was now very close to the rocks where I almost died last night. The ship wasn't moving. I took off my clothes and I swam to the ship. I didn't see any way to get inside the big ship, so I swam around it twice. The second time, I saw a rope which was hanging on one side. I used it to climb up, and when I was on board, I began to search for food and tools I could use. I was very lucky because some of the food on the ship was dry. I went into the kitchen and filled my pockets with biscuits. I was eating them while I was exploring the other cabins. I also found a bottle of rum, which I took with me. There was no other boat on the ship, and I needed one to carry the food and tools to the beach. That is why I took some boards and I made a raft. I discovered 3 big wooden boxes, and I put them on my raft. I filled the first one with the bread, cheese, and meat I found. I found some more bottles of alcohol, which I also put on the raft. Then I heard something. Somebody was on the ship. Who was it? Somebody from my friends? It wasn't possible. My friends were all dead. I was a little scared. I went to the place where I heard the noises. Then I saw who it was. It was a dog. It was a dog of our captain. Now, I had a friend. I wasn't alone anymore. Then I noticed the tide was getting high again, and the clothes which I left on the beach were already in water. I was still on the ship, so I looked for more clothes. When I was looking for more clothes, I found a box with some tools. I also found a nice carpet next to the box. Then I looked for guns, which I needed to protect myself and to hunt. I found 4 guns and 3 boxes of gunpowder. 2 of them were dry. I put all these things on my raft. The sea was calm. The tide was rising and the wind was blowing to the land. Soon, I was back on the beach. I started to look for a place where I could stay. I saw a hill. I thought that from the hill I could see where I was. I took a gun and some gunpowder, and I started walking to it. When I was on the top, I saw sea around the whole place. I was on an island. I could see 2 small islands near. One was to the north, one was to the west. I also saw a big land to the south. It was about 60 miles far. I saw nothing to the east. I saw only the ocean. I couldn't see any sign of people on my island, only wild animals. Thank you for watching. This is the end of part 4. To be continued in part 5. If you like this story, please click like, share, and subscribe. See you then.